There's a moment in every twin flame journey where the chaser stops running. Not because they've found peace, but because they're exhausted. They whisper to themselves, "I give up. I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And yet, a week later, they find themselves checking their twin's profile again. Feeling that same ache in the chest, that same invisible pull that refuses to fade. So, were they really letting go? Or were they just trying to escape from something their soul still hasn't understood? This right here is where most people get lost. Because the words letting go and surrender sound the same, but they carry completely different energies. Letting go, the energy of giving up. Letting go, for many, is an act of resistance disguised as detachment. It's when you say, "I don't care anymore," but your voice trembles because you actually do. It's when you delete their number but still remember it by heart. It's when you convince yourself you're over it, but every part of you still vibrates with their name. Letting go often comes from a place of pain. It's what we do when our expectations have been broken too many times. When we've begged the universe for signs and all we hear is silence. When our human mind can't make sense of why we're still tethered to someone who's not here. So we let go. Not because we've transcended the connection, but because we're trying to numb it. We let go the way someone closes a book halfway. Not because the story is finished, but because it hurts too much to keep reading. Letting go is what happens when the ego says, "If I can't control this, I'll pretend it doesn't matter." It's a wall, not a doorway. Protects you from pain, yes, but it also keeps out healing. Because pain needs to be felt to be released. And surrender, true surrender, is the art of feeling without attachment. Surrender, the energy of trust. Surrender is not defeat. It's not the same as saying, "Fine, universe, you win." It's saying, "I trust you, even when I don't understand." It's that quiet shift when your energy moves from desperation to acceptance. When you stop asking, "When will it happen?" and start whispering, "I know it will," when it's meant to. Surrender isn't passive. It's one of the most active, powerful states of being. Because it means you've chosen faith over fear, presence over projection, love over control. When you surrender, you don't stop caring, you stop clinging. You don't stop loving, you stop suffering. You don't stop hoping, you stop forcing. You begin to see that everything unfolding, even the silence, even the distance, is part of a larger design your mind can't yet grasp. You start to feel that maybe, just maybe, this separation is not punishment but preparation. Control is the opposite of flow. In the twin flame journey, control is the biggest illusion. The moment you try to make something happen, it slips away. Because control belongs to the ego, not the soul. Your soul doesn't chase, it magnetizes. It doesn't beg, it attracts. It doesn't plan, it trusts. And that's why surrender is the portal through which union becomes possible. Because when you stop grasping for the outcome, your energy becomes open again. You create space for the universe to move, to align, to rearrange everything that's meant for you. The irony is, things start happening the moment you stop trying to make them happen. A subtle example, the river and the rock. Imagine a river trying to push a rock out of its way. It crashes, it roars, it foams, but the rock stands still. The river grows frustrated, feels stuck. But when the river finally surrenders, when it stops resisting, it simply flows around the rock. And over time, through patience and presence, it smooths the edges until even the rock becomes part of its song. That's surrender. That's what happens when you stop fighting what is. Because the moment you do, you remember the flow was never broken. Only your perception of it was. The energetic difference. Here's the simplest way to tell. Letting go feels empty. You close your heart to avoid feeling. You tell yourself you don't care anymore. It's relief mixed with bitterness. Surrender feels open. You breathe deeper. You allow love to exist even without conditions. You stop needing answers because peace has already arrived. You might still think of them. You might still feel the connection. But it doesn't hurt anymore. It humbles you. It expands you. The paradox of surrender. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop trying to get your twin flame back is often the exact moment their energy starts returning. Not because you've manipulated the universe into rewarding you for doing the work, but because your vibration finally matches the frequency of unconditional love. Control pushes away. Acceptance invites in. Fear closes. Faith opens. That's the dance. That's the quiet miracle of surrender. The mirror within. When you stop chasing your twin, you begin chasing yourself, the parts you abandoned. You realize that what you were really craving wasn't them. It was the version of yourself that feels whole when they're near. And surrender means bringing that wholeness home. You stop asking, when will they come back? And start asking, how can I come back to myself? You stop saying, they don't see my worth, and start living in a way that shows your worth whether they're watching or not. And that, my friend, is when the magnetic shift happens. Because the universe mirrors your energy. When you live from lack, it gives you more reasons to feel lacking. When you live from love, it multiplies that love through every person and moment around you. A personal reflection. Maybe surrender isn't something you do. Maybe it's something that happens when you finally get tired of fighting life. When you stop begging for signs and start becoming the sign. When you stop demanding clarity and start finding beauty in the mystery. When you stop looking for proof and start trusting your inner knowing. And maybe, just maybe, this is what the twin flame journey is teaching you all along. Not how to get someone back, but how to come back to yourself through love. The moment you know you've truly surrendered. It's quiet. There's no grand declaration, no big ceremony. Just a morning where you wake up and realize your heart feels light again. You look at the sky, smile, and think, whatever happens, I'll be okay. That's it. That's surrender. That's the moment the universe whispers back. Now you're ready. Closing message. So if you're watching this right now, and you're wondering whether you've truly surrendered or simply given up, ask yourself this. Does my heart feel peaceful, or does it feel numb? Am I trusting, or am I avoiding? Am I open, or am I closed? Because the truth is simple. Giving up is what you do when you're tired of waiting. Surrender is what you do when you finally trust divine timing. Surrender isn't losing control, it's remembering you never had to control anything in the first place. It's the most radical act of love you can offer yourself. And when you reach that place, everything, even your twin flame, returns in the way it's meant to. Not through chasing, not through forcing, but through alignment. Because when you surrender, you become the flow. There's a quiet war inside you. One part of you wants to hold on, to keep believing, to keep fighting, to not lose the love that once felt like destiny. Another part whispers, enough, let it go. You're hurting yourself. And between those two voices lies the truth. You're not weak for wanting to hold on. You're not heartless for wanting to walk away. You're human, learning the difference between attachment and alignment. This chapter is about that space in between. The delicate balance between what your mind thinks it must protect and what your soul already knows it can release. 1. Why the mind can't surrender. To understand surrender, we first need to understand control and why the human mind clings so tightly to it. Your mind is built to predict, to organize, to categorize. It's a survival machine, not a peace machine. Its only job is to protect you from uncertainty. And love, especially divine love, is the most uncertain thing of all. When your twin flame disappears, when the messages stop, when the silence grows too loud, the mind panics. It starts analyzing every moment, every word, every sign. It needs to know. Because not knowing feels like dying. The ego's greatest fear isn't pain. It's loss of control. That's why it asks questions that sound spiritual but are really emotional traps. When will they come back? What did I do wrong? Should I wait or move on? These questions aren't seeking truth. They're seeking control disguised as clarity. The mind wants a map. The soul wants mystery. And that's why surrender feels impossible, because the part of you trying to surrender is the very part that can't. 2. The wound beneath the clinging. Every time you can't let go, there's a wound underneath. A childhood echo saying, if I let go, I'll lose love forever. Maybe your parents left before you were ready. Maybe love always meant holding tighter so it wouldn't leave. Maybe you grew up believing that to be loved, you had to prove your worth. So when your twin flame triggers that ancient wound, it's not really them you're clinging to. It's the little you inside, begging not to be abandoned again. The psychology of letting go is not about forgetting someone. It's about remembering yourself. The part that still believes love equals survival. That's why surrender can't be forced. You can't tell the inner child, move on already. You have to sit with her. Hold her hand. Let her know she's safe, even if love changes form. Until she feels safe, your nervous system will keep looping, checking the phone, replaying memories, rereading old messages. Because that's how the body tries to find stability inside chaos. 3. The cycle of control. In the twin flame dynamic, control often comes disguised as effort. You think, if I heal enough, if I manifest enough, if I do all the shadow work, they'll come back. But that's still control. It's just control wearing a spiritual mask. This is what psychologists call performative healing. Healing with an agenda. It's when you meditate not to find peace, but to get a result. It's when you journal to release energy, but secretly hope they'll text you after. And the universe feels that frequency. It knows when your self-love is still rooted in longing. True surrender means healing because you deserve peace, not because peace will bring them back. The moment your motive shifts from attachment to alignment, the energy transforms. You stop chasing outcomes and start cultivating presence. And presence is where real union begins, first within, then without. 4. The body remembers what the mind forgets. Sometimes, even when your mind says, I'm over it, your body disagrees. You hear their name, and your chest tightens. You smell their perfume, and your heart races. You dream of them and you wake up crying, not because you miss them but because your cells still do. That's trauma memory. Your body stores every goodbye, every rejection, every silence. Letting go isn't just a mental decision. It's a physiological process. It's the nervous system slowly learning that safety doesn't depend on their presence anymore. Surrender is when your body exhales. When the tension finally leaves your spine. When your breath deepens not because you're trying, but because peace finally feels safe. 5. Why surrender feels like death. Psychologically, surrender threatens the ego's identity. Because the moment you surrender, you admit that you're not in charge, and that terrifies the mind. The ego thrives on stories. I am the one who loves them. I am the one who's waiting. I am the one who got hurt. But surrender dissolves all of that. It's the death of narrative. And to the ego that feels like dying. Yet spiritually it's the opposite, it's rebirth. It's when you shift from I love them to I am love. From they complete me to I am already whole. And that's the moment your vibration changes. Because the energy of need turns into the energy of being. That's when you stop attracting mirrors of pain and start embodying mirrors of peace. 6. The mirror principle. Every twin flame connection is a mirror. Not of who they are, but of what you're ready to see. When they pull away, they're showing you where you still abandon yourself. When they ignore you, they're revealing where you still seek validation. When they come back, they're testing whether your peace is conditional or real. That's the psychology of spiritual partnership. Each separation isn't punishment, it's precision. Each silence isn't rejection, it's redirection. Surrender allows you to look into that mirror without judgment. To say, thank you for showing me where I still hurt. That's how love matures, when it's no longer about possession but reflection. 7. The shift from fear to faith. So how do you move from letting go to surrender? From fear to faith? You start by observing your thoughts without obeying them. When your mind says, text them. Pause. Ask, what part of me needs reassurance right now? When you feel the urge to chase, breathe. Ask, what am I afraid of losing? Because surrender doesn't mean you stop feeling, it means you stop reacting from fear. You stop letting your trauma drive the car. You let love take the wheel, slowly, gently, patiently. And every time you choose trust over panic, your energy recalibrates. You begin to embody the vibration that magnetizes what's truly aligned. 8. The integration phase. Surrender isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Some days you'll feel peaceful. Other days the ache returns like a tide. That's okay. Healing is cyclical. Even peace has waves. Each time the pain resurfaces, you're not failing, you're deepening. You're meeting a new layer of attachment that's ready to dissolve. And each time you choose presence instead of panic, you strengthen the muscle of surrender. It's not linear. It's alchemical. 9. The return of flow. When surrender becomes your natural state, life starts responding differently. Opportunities appear effortlessly. People align without forcing. Even your twin, if they're meant to, begins to re-enter your orbit in divine timing. But by then you no longer need. Because your happiness no longer depends on reunion. It's already within you. And that's when union happens. Not because you chased it, but because you became it. 10. Closing reflection. So, the next time you feel like you're losing control, remember you're not being punished. You're being invited. Invited to trust the flow that your mind doesn't understand but your soul remembers. Invited to stop gripping life like it's leaving you, and start holding it like it's loving you. Invited to let go of control not because you failed, but because you finally understand you were never supposed to control love in the first place. Surrender is the soul's quiet way of saying, I choose peace even if I don't have closure. I choose trust even when I don't have answers. I choose love even when I stand alone. Because in that choice, that sacred silent choice, you stop being the seeker, and you become the flow itself. Surrender is not always loud. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or dramatic transformations. More often it arrives quietly, in the gentle shift of your energy, in the way your body relaxes, in the subtle changes in your daily life. It's a soft unveiling like dawn spreading across a night sky. You might not notice it at first because you've been waiting for a big obvious signal. But the signs are there, whispered in your daily reality, if you have the eyes to see and the heart to feel. In this chapter, we'll explore what it truly looks like when you have surrendered, not just outwardly but deeply from the core of your being. 1. Inner peace becomes your default state. The first sign of real surrender is an unmistakable inner calm. It's the feeling that, no matter what happens, externally your soul is grounded. Before surrender, your mind is like a stormy ocean. Every text not received, every silence, every unexpected event sends waves of anxiety, fear, or longing crashing over you. Your heart races. Your chest tightens. Your thoughts spiral. After surrender, those same situations feel different. A silence no longer triggers panic. A message delayed no longer causes a storm of worry. You simply observe, and life continues to flow. You start to notice. Your peace is not dependent on another person, their choices, or the timing of events. This is a subtle but profound shift. A complete reorientation of energy from external dependency to internal alignment. 2. You stop chasing and start allowing. Another sign, you stop forcing outcomes. You no longer feel the need to text, to reach, to check, or to manipulate situations. Before surrender, you are constantly trying to control the story. If I text, maybe they'll reply. If I wait, maybe they'll come back. If I try harder, maybe it'll work. After surrender, you stop chasing altogether. Instead, you focus on being the highest version of yourself. Your attention shifts from the outcome to your own energy. And here's the key. The universe responds to this energy. When you stop pushing, doors begin to open naturally. Not by force, not by desperation, but because your vibration has aligned with the flow of divine timing. 3. Emotional detachment without indifference. Surrender doesn't mean you stop feeling. You still care. You still love. But there's a profound difference between caring from fear and caring from love. Before surrender, attachment dominates. Every emotion is reactive. Every thought is tethered to an outcome. You feel incomplete when your twin flame is distant. After surrender, love becomes unconditional. You feel the connection without being dependent on it. Your happiness is no longer tied to what happens externally. You can love freely, without needing proof, without needing reciprocation. This is perhaps the hardest lesson for the mind to grasp. You can deeply care and yet remain free. You can still have them in your heart while existing fully in your own sovereignty. 4. Synchronicities begin to multiply. When surrender deepens, the universe begins to send subtle confirmations. Coincidences become meaningful. Signs appear in everyday life. A song, a phrase, a number, an encounter. You begin to notice patterns that feel like whispers from the cosmos. These synchronicities are not manipulation. They are reflections of your inner alignment. The energy you emit attracts experiences that mirror your vibrational state. If you feel at peace, the universe responds in kind. Notice this. It's never about forcing a specific outcome. It's about noticing that life starts to mirror the calm within you. 5. You're no longer controlled by fear or ego. Fear is the opposite of surrender. When fear dominates, you obsess over every detail, overanalyze every action, and construct countless what-if scenarios. The ego feeds on the illusion that if it can control enough, it will be safe. Surrender dissolves fear. Not instantly, not completely, but gradually as you practice trust. Your ego still whispers sometimes, but you're no longer compelled to obey. You recognize the difference between guidance from your soul and panic from your mind. This freedom from fear is a hallmark of surrender. You respond consciously, rather than react automatically. And that distinction changes everything, especially in a twin flame dynamic. 6. You stop seeking external validation. Before surrender, you may have sought constant confirmation. Do they still care? Do they think of me? Am I enough? After surrender, external validation loses power. You know your worth independently of another person's recognition. You no longer try to win their love or attention because your love for yourself has become sufficient. And paradoxically, this is when your twin flame's energy can finally re-enter your life naturally. The universe does not respond to attachment. It responds to alignment. 7. Life feels lighter even in silence. Surrender is often felt as a sense of relief. A weight you didn't even realize you were carrying suddenly lifts. The mind relaxes. The body exhales. Even if your twin flame is physically absent, emotionally unavailable, or seemingly distant, your energy remains light. You are no longer dragging the chain of longing behind you. It's a subtle joy, not loud or dramatic, but persistent, constant, and deeply nourishing. 8. You start living in the present, not the past or future. Before surrender, the mind constantly loops through past mistakes or future what-ifs. You replay conversations, imagine outcomes, and relive moments of pain. After surrender, the present moment becomes your home. You no longer live in projections or regrets. You respond to life as it is, not as you fear it could be. This shift is crucial in the twin flame journey, because union is never about forcing the future. It's about embodying the energy of love in the present. The timeline aligns only when your vibration matches the frequency of peace and acceptance. 9. Compassion expands beyond the twin flame. Surrender changes your relationship not only with your twin, but with everyone around you. You become less reactive, less judgmental, more understanding. You notice the struggles of others without being pulled into them. Your empathy expands naturally, because your own energy is no longer trapped in lack. This is a sign you've truly surrendered. Your love is not exclusive, desperate, or possessive. It radiates freely, creating space for connection without dependency. 10. The inner knowing, the silent confirmation. Finally, surrender often comes with an inner knowing. You don't need someone else to tell you it's right. You feel it in your bones, in the calm of your heartbeat, in the rhythm of your breath. There's no dramatic event, no epiphany required. Just a quiet confidence, a deep-seated trust, and a sense of all is well, even if I can't see it yet. This inner knowing is the clearest sign that surrender is complete. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a conscious participant in life's unfolding. Closing reflection. So, if you find yourself asking, have I truly surrendered, or am I just letting go? Check your energy. Check your inner peace. Notice your reactions, your attachments, your need for control. Notice the small synchronicities that reflect your alignment. Notice whether love is a force that liberates, rather than confines. True surrender is quiet, invisible, and yet powerful. It doesn't demand attention. It radiates integrity. It is the energy that magnetizes the right timing, the right people, and the right circumstances, without any effort, without any insistence. Because surrender is not about losing love. It is about reclaiming it. Your love, your energy, your life. And in that reclamation, the universe begins to move. The flow begins to open. And the journey toward union, whether now or in divine timing, begins to feel effortless. Surrender is not a one-time event. It's not something you declare in a moment of inspiration and then check off a list. It's a daily practice, a way of moving through life with presence, trust, and love. The difference between letting go and surrendering is subtle, yet profound. Letting go can happen in a moment of frustration, exhaustion, or emotional overwhelm. Surrender is cultivated. It's nurtured. It's the energy you carry in every thought, every breath, and every action. In this chapter, we will explore practical, tangible ways to practice surrender daily, so that it becomes less a concept and more your lived experience. 1. Start your day with intention, not expectation. The morning is the perfect moment to set the tone for surrender. Instead of asking, "What will happen today? Will they reach out? Will I get answers?" Shift your focus to your energy and alignment. Begin with a few deep breaths, allowing your body to wake up gently. Say a simple affirmation. I release what I cannot control. I trust life to unfold perfectly. Visualize yourself moving through the day with calm, open, and receptive energy. Notice the difference between intention and expectation. Intention is aligned with your inner truth. It is your active choice to embody peace. Expectation is tied to outcomes and ego, creating tension and disappointment. By starting your day with intention, you anchor yourself in surrender before the world's chaos begins to tug at your energy. 2. Daily journaling for clarity and release. Writing is one of the most powerful tools for surrender. It allows you to observe your thoughts without judgment and release energy that keeps you tethered to fear or attachment. Here's a simple daily journaling structure for surrender. Identify attachments. Write down thoughts, fears, or desires you feel compelled to control. Acknowledge the emotions. I feel anxious because I want this outcome. Release intentionally. Close with a phrase such as, I release this need for control. I trust the universe's timing. Over time, this practice trains your mind to distinguish between reactive thinking and conscious surrender. It creates a container where your emotions can be processed without driving your behavior. 3. Meditation for energy alignment. Meditation is not just about quieting the mind. It is about aligning your energy with your higher self. When your energy resonates with peace and trust, surrender becomes natural. Try this daily meditation practice. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Focus on your breath, imagining each inhale drawing in light and calm, each exhale releasing tension and control. Visualize a golden light in your heart, expanding with every breath. Whisper internally, I surrender to life. I trust the flow. I release what is not mine to hold. Remain in this state for 10 to 20 minutes, simply observing and breathing. Over time, you'll notice your emotional reactivity decreases. Even challenging situations feel less urgent, less threatening. Your nervous system begins to embody surrender at a cellular level. 4. Mindful awareness throughout the day. Surrender is not only a practice for quiet moments, it's a way of living. Throughout your day, notice when your mind slips into control, fear, or attachment. Ask yourself, am I trying to control this moment? Am I reacting from fear or choosing from love? Is this thought helping me or keeping me stuck? The goal is not to eliminate thoughts or emotions, but to witness them consciously. By pausing, observing, and returning to presence, you gradually replace habitual patterns of anxiety and attachment with alignment and trust. Even 30 seconds of mindful breathing before responding to a message, before checking social media, or before reacting to a trigger can strengthen your surrender muscle. 5. Letting go rituals. Physical rituals help signal to your subconscious that you are releasing control. These rituals can be as simple or elaborate as you like, as long as they carry symbolic meaning. Examples: write and release. Write your fears, desires, or attachments on paper. Tear it up, burn it safely. Or release it into water, imagining the energy dissolving. Breath release. Stand, take a deep breath, and exhale forcefully while saying, I surrender. Mirror affirmations. Look in the mirror. Place your hand over your heart and repeat, I am enough. I trust the flow of life. I release control. These physical acts help your mind and body internalize surrender, reinforcing it beyond Abstract thought. 6. Self-reflection on control and attachment. Each evening, reflect on moments where you resisted surrender during the day. Did you feel triggered by silence or delay? Did you try to manipulate or force outcomes? Were your thoughts dominated by what-ifs? By recognizing these moments without judgment, you build awareness of your attachment patterns. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Then, in a quiet moment, consciously release these patterns, knowing that growth is incremental. 7. Trust practices. Trust is the core of surrender. Without trust, surrender cannot take root. Some simple trust practices include affirmations of trust. I trust life to guide me. I trust my twin flame journey. I trust myself. Release to nature. Spend time in natural surroundings. Observe how rivers flow, trees grow, and seasons change effortlessly. Recognize that life unfolds in perfect timing, even if you cannot see. Anchor to breath. Each time fear or doubt arises, pause, inhale, and exhale consciously, reminding yourself, I am safe. I am aligned. I release control. Trust practices retrain your nervous system to respond to life with faith rather than panic. 8. Energy clearing practices. Surrender requires energetic alignment. Blockages, emotional baggage, or lingering attachments can impede your ability to fully surrender. Energy clearing practices can include salt baths or smudging, physically and symbolically cleansing your space. Sound healing, listening to frequencies that resonate with calm, such as Tibetan bowls, chimes, or binaural beats. Movement, yoga, walking, or dance to release stored tension in the body. These practices support the body-mind connection and help your energy flow freely, creating space for surrender. 9. Integration into daily life. Surrender is most powerful when integrated into every aspect of life. At work, release attachment to outcomes. Focus on contribution, not results. In relationships, love fully without seeking validation or control. In personal growth, heal from self-compassion, not self-punishment. In challenges, accept what arises, trusting the lesson and the timing. Integration is the bridge between theory and experience. When surrender permeates your daily life, it stops being a concept and becomes a state of being. 10. Reflecting on progress. Finally, track your surrender journey with gentle reflection. Notice how often you respond with calm rather than fear. Observe when attachment arises and how quickly you release it. Celebrate small victories. Even a single moment of presence is profound progress. Remember, surrender is not linear. Some days feel effortless, others feel impossible. What matters is persistence, awareness, and compassion for yourself along the way. Daily surrender is both art and practice. It's choosing peace over panic, presence over projection, and trust over control, moment by moment, breath by breath. The twin flame journey asks not that you force love, chase your twin, or resist the unknown. It asks that you embody alignment, cultivating an inner energy that naturally magnetizes what is meant for you. Surrender is not giving up. It is giving in to the flow of life. It is reclaiming your power through letting go. It is trusting that the universe orchestrates your journey with perfect timing. And as you practice daily, you begin to notice. The world feels lighter, synchronicities appear, love expands, and even in moments of silence, you know you are exactly where you need to be. Surrender becomes your natural state, and with it, the universe begins to move in harmony with your heart. Surrender is simple in theory but complex in practice. It sounds easy to let go and trust the flow. Yet when faced with silence, absence, or uncertainty, the mind and heart instinctively resist. In the twin flame journey, these challenges can feel magnified, because your twin mirrors not only your love, but your wounds, fears, and attachments. And surrender requires confronting all of it, not superficially but deeply, with courage and compassion. In this chapter, we'll explore the most common pitfalls in surrender, why they happen, and practical strategies to navigate them, so your energy remains aligned even when life tests your resolve. 1. Confusing surrender with giving up. The first and most common pitfall, thinking that surrender is the same as giving up. Many believe surrender is passive, that to surrender is to resign, to stop caring, or to abandon the journey. This misconception keeps people stuck in cycles of attachment or control. Surrender is not giving up. It's choosing to release control over outcomes while remaining fully engaged in your growth and alignment. Consider the difference. Giving up. I'll stop trying because it's too hard or painful. I don't care anymore. Surrender. I release the need to force outcomes. I trust the universe and focus on being the highest version of myself. Surrender is active and intentional. It requires presence, awareness, and conscious decision-making, even when emotions feel intense or confusing. 2. Emotional triggers and the shadow. Your twin flame will inevitably trigger unresolved wounds. The closer you feel to them, the more vulnerable your shadow becomes. Your fear of abandonment, rejection, inadequacy, or unworthiness. When these old wounds surface, surrender can feel impossible. You want to chase them when they withdraw. You want to control outcomes when uncertainty rises. You feel anger, jealousy, or despair when expectations are unmet. This is the shadow aspect of surrender. Your ego reacts to fear disguised as love. If you mistake these triggers for spiritual failure, you may feel shame or guilt, which only strengthens attachment. The key: acknowledge the triggers without judgment. When jealousy arises, recognize it as an internal mirror. This is not about them. It's about my fear of being unloved or abandoned. Then consciously release the reaction. Surrender doesn't require perfection. It requires honesty and self-compassion. 3. The urge to control or manipulate outcomes. Even after moments of surrender, the mind often seeks to regain control. It whispers, "If I manifest hard enough, they'll respond. If I try this, I can influence them. If I control the timeline, it'll be safe." This is performative. Surrender, a common pitfall. It looks spiritual but is rooted in attachment, not alignment. Red flags include obsessive journaling or affirmations meant to make them come back, analyzing every word, text, or action for hidden meaning, feeling panic when life doesn't follow a script. Strategy: shift the focus from outcomes to energy. Instead of asking, "When will they come back?" How can I embody peace, trust, and presence right now? When your vibration becomes your priority, the universe responds naturally. You no longer chase love, you radiate it. 4. Impatience and the illusion of timing. The twin flame journey tests your patience like nothing else. Surrender is deeply tied to divine timing, yet human nature craves immediacy. We live in a world that rewards speed. Instant messages, instant gratification, instant results. But spiritual alignment moves according to a rhythm beyond the mind's comprehension. Impatience manifests as constantly checking messages or social media, obsessing over the timeline of reunion, comparing your journey to others. Strategy: cultivate trust and timing through grounding practices. Observe nature. Notice rivers flowing, seasons changing, birds migrating. Life unfolds at its own pace. Use affirmations. I trust the timing of my life. All unfolds in divine alignment. Practice patience. Focus on what you can control: your energy, choices, and growth. Remember, surrender is not about rushing the journey. It's about moving in harmony with it. 5. Misunderstanding letting go versus surrender. Another subtle pitfall is mistaking letting go for surrender. Letting go often feels reactive. You release out of frustration, pain, or despair. Surrender is conscious and loving. You release because you trust life, not because you are forced to. Letting go may bring temporary relief, but if it's not rooted in trust, the mind and heart may return to old attachment patterns. Surrender, on the other hand, changes your vibration. It realigns your energy with flow, trust, and divine timing. Check your intention. If you release from fear, that's letting go. If you release from love and trust, that's surrender. This distinction matters deeply in your twin flame journey. 6. The fear of missing out or losing love. The fear of loss is perhaps the most persistent pitfall. Even after practicing surrender, moments arise when you feel, what if they find someone else? What if this connection is gone forever? What if I'll never feel this way again? These fears are natural. They emerge from the ego and the wounded inner child. Strategy: reframe loss as freedom. Recognize that real love never binds, it liberates. Affirm, I am whole. My happiness does not depend on them. Trust that if the connection is meant to exist, it will, without manipulation, without forcing, and without fear. Surrender is the courage to love fully, even when outcomes are uncertain. 7. Relapsing into old patterns. Surrender is not linear. You will have moments of clarity, peace, and alignment, and moments where old patterns resurface. When this happens, observe without judgment. Ask yourself, which part of me is reacting, the ego or the soul? Breathe, release, and return to presence. Remember, every relapse is an opportunity for deeper understanding. Your ability to return to alignment, rather than staying stuck in guilt or frustration, is the true measure of surrender. 8. The challenge of external influences. Family, friends, and society often misunderstand twin flame dynamics. They may say, just move on, it's not healthy. You're obsessing too much, let it go. While guidance can be valuable, it can also trigger doubt or pressure, pulling you away from inner alignment. Strategy. Filter external advice through your own inner knowing. Tune into your intuition and heart. Take advice only if it resonates with your truth and energy. Maintain boundaries with voices that create fear or judgment. Surrender is aligned autonomy, listening deeply, but not being dictated by external expectation. 9. Physical and emotional. Resistance. Surrender is not purely mental. Your body may resist. Tension, restlessness, or even physical illness can arise when energy is blocked. Emotionally, waves of grief, anxiety, or longing may continue to surface. This is natural. Your system is adjusting to new frequencies of trust and presence. Strategies. Breathwork to release tension. Movement, yoga, dance, or walking in nature. Energy healing. Reiki, sound therapy, or visualization exercises. The body is an ally in surrender. When it relaxes, your mind and heart follow. 10. Reaffirming daily. Commitment. Finally, the most essential safeguard against pitfalls. Daily commitment to practice. Surrender thrives on routine and conscious effort. Morning intentions to set energy for the day. Journaling to process emotions. Meditation to realign energy. Evening reflection to release residual attachment. Consistency strengthens your nervous system, deepens trust, and embeds surrender into your being. Surrender is not a single act, it is a lifestyle. Challenges and pitfalls are inevitable, part of the twin flame journey and part of the human experience. What defines your path is not the absence of obstacles but how you navigate them. Surrender asks you to release fear while maintaining love. Trust the unseen while acting consciously. Embody alignment even when the mind resists. Remain present even when the heart aches. Every challenge is an invitation to deepen presence, strengthen trust, and illuminate your inner power. The beauty of surrender is that, even when the mind resists and the heart trembles, the soul already knows the way. And as you navigate these challenges, synchronicities appear, peace deepens, and the twin flame journey begins to unfold effortlessly, gracefully, and in perfect divine timing. Surrender is a journey, not a destination. By now, you've learned the signs of true surrender, cultivated daily practices, and navigated the common pitfalls. Yet the deeper layers of surrender require intentional, advanced techniques, practices that allow the energy of trust, alignment, and divine flow to penetrate every level of your being. In this chapter, we'll explore advanced methods to deepen surrender, helping you embody a state where life, love, and the twin flame journey unfold with effortless grace. 1. The practice of energy observation. One of the most advanced practices is the conscious observation of your energy. Surrender is not only a mental state, it is vibrational. Begin by sitting quietly and scanning your body from head to toe. Notice where tension, resistance, or fear resides. Don't try to fix it, simply observe. Label the sensations. This is anxiety. This is fear. This is attachment. Awareness alone begins the release process. By recognizing and naming resistance without judgment, you create space for surrender. Your energy begins to flow naturally once it's seen and acknowledged. This practice can be done multiple times a day, especially when you feel triggered by your twin flame's absence, silence, or actions. Observation is a form of energetic mindfulness, a bridge between presence and surrender. 2. Breathwork for energetic release. Breath is one of the most powerful tools for clearing trapped energy and cultivating surrender. Try the following advanced breathwork technique. Sit or lie comfortably, spine straight, shoulders relaxed. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Hold the breath for a count of 4. Exhale forcefully through your mouth for a count of 6, imagining the release of tension, fear, and attachment. Repeat for 10 to 20 cycles. As you breathe, visualize energy cords, fears, or expectations dissolving. Feel the exhale as a liberation of what no longer serves you. The inhale draws in trust, peace, and divine alignment. Breathwork trains your nervous system to embody surrender on a cellular level. It reminds the body that you are safe, even when the mind fears uncertainty. 3. Emotional alchemy. Transforming fear into trust. Deep surrender requires emotional alchemy, the ability to transmute fear, longing, or frustration into trust, love, and acceptance. Here's a practical approach. Identify a recurring fear or attachment pattern. For example, I fear they will leave me. Sit quietly and feel the fear fully without resistance. Allow tears, tension, or trembling to arise. Once fully felt, consciously transform it. Replace I fear losing them with I trust life's timing and divine flow. Visualize a warm light expanding from your heart, dissolving the fear. Affirm internally, I release attachment. I trust. I surrender fully. This is not denial, it is transmutation. You acknowledge the emotion, honor it, and elevate it into alignment with surrender. 4. Twin flame visualization techniques. Visualization is a potent tool to cultivate surrender while remaining energetically connected to your twin flame. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Imagine your twin flame surrounded by light, at peace and happy, independent of your control or involvement. Visualize a golden cord connecting your hearts, flexible, luminous, and free from tension. Repeat affirmations. I love fully. I release control. I trust the divine timing of our journey. This practice strengthens energetic trust. You honor the connection without obsession, creating a flow where union becomes natural rather than forced. 5. Journaling for higher-level surrender. You may already journal for daily reflection, but advanced surrender calls for deep, soul-level journaling. Try these prompts. Where am I resisting the flow of life? How can I release this? What illusions about control or attachment am I holding on to? How can I embody trust, alignment, and peace today? What lessons am I missing in my twin flame journey? How can I transform longing or fear into love and presence? When you journal at this level, you're not only observing patterns, you're actively rewriting your inner narrative. Surrender becomes a conscious, co-creative process with the universe. 6. Sacred rituals to anchor surrender. Rituals are a bridge between mind, body, and spirit. They make surrender tangible and memorable, anchoring your energy in alignment. Some advanced rituals include candle ritual. Light a candle and say, I release control. I surrender fully. I trust the universe to guide my path. Watch the flame as a symbol of the flow of life. Elemental release. Use water, fire, or air to symbolize letting go. Write fears on paper and release into a flame, river, or the wind. Sacred space. Create a small altar or corner with objects representing trust, love, and alignment. Meditate there daily to anchor surrender. Rituals create energetic markers, reminding the mind and body that surrender is sacred, intentional, and ongoing. 7. Mindful engagement with your twin flame. Deep surrender does not mean disengagement. You can interact consciously with your twin flame without attachment, obsession, or expectation. Guidelines. Communicate from your highest self, not from fear or need. Observe without judgment. Notice their actions, energy, and timing as reflections, not imperatives. Release expectation. Let interactions happen without scripting outcomes. This practice strengthens energetic balance, allowing love to flow naturally rather than being pulled by desperation or attachment. 8. Energy clearing and protection. Advanced surrender requires energetic hygiene. Your energy can be affected by external influences, emotions, environments, or other people. Techniques include daily energy clearing. Visualize white or golden light cleansing your aura, dissolving stagnant energy. Grounding. Walk barefoot, connect with nature. Or meditate to anchor in the present. Protective visualization. Imagine a transparent bubble of light around your energy, allowing love and flow to enter, while filtering negativity. When your energy is clean, surrender becomes effortless. You are less likely to be pulled into fear, doubt, or reactive patterns. 9. Advanced affirmations and mantras. Words carry vibration. Advanced surrender integrates high-frequency affirmations. I am aligned with divine timing. I trust the journey and the process of union. I release fear, attachment, and control. I embody peace, love, and presence in every moment. All unfolds in perfect harmony with my highest good. Repeat these daily, ideally while breathing deeply, visualizing energy flow, or during meditation. Over time, they reshape subconscious programming, making surrender your default state. 10. Integration. Living surrender fully. The final and most advanced step is integration. Into every aspect of life. In work, focus on presence and contribution, releasing attachment to results. In relationships, love fully without clinging or manipulation. In self-growth, practice compassion, not judgment. In daily challenges, embrace uncertainty, trusting the process. Advanced surrender is embodied, not theoretical. It is visible in your energy, reflected in your interactions, and felt in your heart. It becomes less about practice and more about a way of being. Deep surrender is both subtle and profound. It requires discipline, awareness, and courage to face the mind's resistance, the heart's fear, and the soul's impatience. But the rewards are immense. A life aligned with flow rather than struggle. Emotional freedom and resilience. Energetic harmony that attracts synchronicities, love, and divine timing. A twin flame journey that feels effortless, even in apparent separation. Surrender is not a single act, it is a living, breathing state of consciousness. By practicing these advanced techniques, you invite the universe to co-create with you, turning every challenge into growth, every longing into presence, and every moment into alignment. Because when surrender is deep, the world itself becomes a mirror of your inner peace. And the journey with your twin flame, with yourself, and with life itself becomes a dance of trust, love, and divine timing. By this stage of your journey, you have learned to identify surrender, cultivate daily practices, navigate pitfalls, and engage in advanced techniques to align your energy. Now the challenge is integration, transforming surrender from a series of exercises into a way of being, a state that persists even amid life's unpredictability and the emotional intensity of the twin flame connection. Integration is the mastery of surrender. It is where presence, trust, love, and alignment converge, allowing life to flow naturally. 1. Understanding the essence of continuous surrender. Continuous surrender is not about perfection, it is about consistency and presence. You are no longer chasing, manipulating, or forcing outcomes. You remain centered. Even when the external world triggers old fears or insecurities, you trust in divine timing, yet act consciously when opportunities arise. A key understanding is that surrender is dynamic. It does not mean passivity or disengagement. Instead, it is active alignment, flowing with life while staying rooted in your inner truth. Think of surrender as water. Water does not resist obstacles. It flows around rocks and bends with the terrain. Yet it is powerful enough to carve rivers and shape landscapes over time. Your energy, your presence, and your choices become like water, flexible, adaptive, and unstoppable. 2. Embodying presence in every moment. Presence is the foundation of continuous surrender. When you are fully present, you are free from past regrets and future anxieties. Techniques for cultivating presence. Micromeditations. Take 1 to 2 minutes throughout the day to focus on breath, sensations, or surroundings. Mindful observation. Notice the colors, sounds, and textures around you. Let each detail anchor you in the now. Body awareness. Scan for tension and consciously release it, reminding yourself that the present moment is safe. Presence is not only calming, it is magnetically attractive. When your energy radiates calm, love, and alignment, synchronicities emerge naturally, including in the twin flame journey. 3. Integrating surrender into relationships. The twin flame connection tests your ability to surrender most acutely. Integration requires you to engage fully without attachment, expectation, or control. Guidelines for relational surrender. Communicate consciously. Speak from your highest self. Avoid reactive or emotionally charged responses. Honor boundaries. Allow space for both yourself and your twin flame. Surrender does not mean tolerating disrespect or ignoring personal needs. Practice empathy. Recognize that your twin flame is on their own journey. Trust that the universe orchestrates union in divine timing. Release obsession. Avoid overanalyzing messages, actions, or timing. Observe with curiosity, not fear. When integrated, surrender in relationships fosters deep emotional freedom, where love is given and received without chains of need or attachment. 4. Mastering emotional resilience. Continuous surrender requires emotional mastery. Challenges, separation, or unexpected outcomes can trigger fear, anger, or longing. Strategies to maintain resilience. Emotional acknowledgement. Feel fully without judgment. Label the emotion. This is fear. This is grief. This is longing. Transmutation. Convert fear or anxiety into trust and love using breath, visualization, or affirmations. Temporal perspective. Step back mentally and ask, will this matter in 1 year? In 10 years? This expands your awareness beyond immediate emotional turbulence. Emotional resilience ensures that surrender is not superficial, but deeply rooted, even amid life's storms. 5. Aligning actions with surrender. Surrender is not only internal, it manifests through aligned action. Ask yourself before acting, does this action come from love or fear? Am I trying to control, or am I contributing to flow? Is this in alignment with my highest self and spiritual purpose? Aligned action bridges the gap between surrender and tangible results. You may initiate communication with your twin flame from love, not need. You may make life decisions with clarity, not attachment. You may step forward courageously, trusting that the outcome is guided by divine timing. This alignment of thought, energy, and action is the hallmark of mastery. 6. The role of synchronicity and signs. When surrender is fully integrated, life begins to communicate through subtle signs and synchronicities. A song may resonate with your current journey. A message may appear at just the right moment. Encounters, symbols, or dreams may guide your choices. Synchronicities are not manipulations, they are confirmations. They indicate that your energy is aligned with flow, and that the universe is orchestrating circumstances in divine timing. To integrate this practice, observe without forcing interpretation. Note patterns, feelings, or guidance, but avoid attachment to meaning. Respond from alignment, not from expectation. Surrender allows signs to guide rather than dictate your journey. 7. Advanced energetic practices. At the mastery level, your energetic field becomes your primary tool for alignment. Light visualization. Imagine a radiant light expanding from your heart, enveloping your body, aura, and surroundings. Let this light dissolve resistance and fear. Energy circulation. Consciously circulate energy through your body from head to heart to hands and feet, imagining it removing blocks and harmonizing your frequency. Twin flame energy exchange. Visualize a flexible, luminous cord connecting you to your twin flame, flowing freely with love and trust without tension or attachment. These practices deepen surrender at a vibrational level, making alignment effortless and sustainable. 8. Spiritual contemplation and reflection. Integration requires time for reflection on the soul's journey. Ask yourself, what am I learning about unconditional love, trust, and divine timing? Meditate on your growth and moments where surrender came naturally. Reflect on challenges that became catalysts for inner transformation. Spiritual reflection transforms surrender from practice into wisdom, helping you embody it across all aspects of life. 9. Maintaining daily anchors. Even in mastery, daily anchors are essential. Morning intention setting. Today I surrender fully to life, love, and divine timing. Midday pause. 1 to 2 minutes of breath, presence, and energy alignment. Evening reflection. Journaling or meditation to release residual attachment, reinforcing surrender. Anchors keep surrender present, habitual, and automatic, preventing reversion into old patterns. 10. Embracing the journey as the reward. Finally, mastery of surrender is not about the end goal, reunion, or outcome. It is about the transformation that occurs within you. Peace amidst uncertainty. Love without attachment. Trust without doubt. Joy without dependence on external circumstances. The twin flame journey becomes less about chasing and more about living fully in alignment, allowing union or divine timing to manifest naturally. Mastery is the recognition that you are complete, whole, and powerful in your presence, regardless of external validation. Integration and mastery of surrender is the culmination of every lesson you've learned. It is the embodiment of daily practice, emotional resilience, energetic alignment, conscious, loving action, trust in divine timing. When surrender is fully integrated, life feels lighter, clearer, and more beautiful. The twin flame path becomes a dance of presence, patience, and love, where synchronicities guide you and the heart flows effortlessly with life. The universe mirrors the energy you carry. When surrender becomes your way of being, every challenge becomes an opportunity, every longing transforms into presence, and every moment radiates alignment. You no longer chase, force, or fear. You simply exist in trust, flow, and the profound power of your awakened energy. Surrender is mastery, and mastery is freedom. After traversing the terrain of surrender, mastering integration, and embodying presence in every moment, you arrive at a threshold, the space where union becomes possible, not as an outcome to chase, but as a natural manifestation of alignment. This chapter explores the spiritual, energetic, and practical dimensions of union when surrender is fully embodied, and how the journey continues beyond reunion, unfolding in profound ways that extend far beyond the twin flame dynamic itself. 1. The nature of union and surrender. Union is often misunderstood as a mere physical or romantic event, a meeting of two people in space and time. True union, however, begins within the energetic and spiritual planes. Union manifests when both souls achieve a resonance that transcends fear, attachment, and control. It is a vibration of unconditional love, trust, and presence that does not depend on external circumstances. Physical reunion is a reflection, not the cause, of this energetic alignment. Consider the analogy of two tuning forks. Each vibrates at a particular frequency. When aligned, they resonate together effortlessly, amplifying their energy. Even if separated by distance, the resonance remains. Union in the context of surrender is the harmonic convergence of energy, consciousness, and intention, where both individuals exist in aligned vibration and trust in divine timing. 2. Energetic dynamics of twin flames in union. Once surrender is deeply integrated, the energetic interaction between twin flames undergoes a profound transformation. Mutual reflection of growth. Each partner mirrors not only love, but the progress of the other's self-mastery. Old wounds arise and dissolve with less intensity because both are energetically stable. Energy amplification. Presence and surrender enhance not only personal vibration, but the combined energy field of the union. This can manifest as heightened intuition, creativity, or spiritual insight. Emotional attunement. Emotions no longer oscillate between attachment and fear. Instead, feelings flow freely, anchored in conscious choice rather than reactive patterns. Union is not static. It is dynamic, a living energetic field that grows and evolves alongside each partner's inner development. 3. The role of divine timing and flow. Even after deep surrender, the universe continues to operate in its own timing. Union may occur gradually, with periods of separation or alignment, designed to refine growth. Synchronicities become frequent, signaling when actions, conversations, or meetings are energetically optimal. Patience and trust are essential. Premature pursuit or impatience can disrupt the natural flow. The lesson here is clear. Union is never forced, it is co-created through alignment and presence. Every interaction, decision, and reflection contributes to the readiness of both souls. 4. Communication beyond words. At the stage of full surrender, communication between twin flames transcends verbal exchange. Telepathic resonance, thoughts, feelings, and intentions can be perceived across distance or silence. Emotional mirroring. Emotional states are intuitively understood, fostering empathy and deep connection. Energetic guidance. Subtle cues, synchronicities, and intuitive nudges guide interactions without the need for control. This level of connection allows for intimacy, understanding, and harmony that surpass ordinary human experiences. It is not mystical in a passive sense. It is energetic literacy, cultivated through surrender and alignment. 5. The balance of independence and togetherness. True twin flame union does not erase individuality. In fact, the paradox of union is the simultaneous experience of deep connection and personal sovereignty. Each partner maintains their own life, goals, and spiritual growth. The relationship enhances, rather than consumes, their vibrational potential. Love becomes a shared space, not a binding contract. This balance is achieved only through continued surrender, releasing the need to merge completely, controlling each other, or defining the union by expectations. When mastered, union feels expansive rather than restrictive. It is freedom, togetherness, and self-expression all at once. 6. Transcending the ego and attachment. Union and surrender is a triumph over the ego. Old patterns of jealousy, fear, and need are replaced with trust, clarity, and emotional sovereignty. The attachment to outcomes, labels, or timing dissolves naturally. Love becomes an offering, not a demand. At this stage, you realize that union is not about having your twin flame in your life. It is about being fully present and fully yourself, while the connection naturally aligns. This liberation is the essence of spiritual mastery. Loving without needing, being without clinging, existing in flow. 7. Integration into daily life. Even in union, surrender must be lived practically. Daily energetic hygiene. Continue breathwork, visualization, and reflection. Presence in interactions. Treat your twin flame not as an object of desire, but as a mirror of your highest self. Navigating challenges. Life still presents obstacles, financial stress, personal growth, family dynamics. Surrender ensures that both individuals respond from alignment rather than fear. Shared vision. Collaborate on growth, projects, or spiritual exploration. While respecting individual paths, union is not the cessation of work or practice. It is the integration of surrender into every dimension of shared life. 8. Spiritual expansion beyond the twin flame. As surrender deepens and union stabilizes, you may notice growth beyond the personal relationship. Increased intuition and spiritual insight. Expanded empathy and compassion toward others. Ability to hold space for collective healing or service. Heightened creativity, manifestation, and flow in life purpose. In essence, union amplifies the soul's capacity to serve, create, and radiate love into the world, reflecting the higher purpose of the twin flame journey. 9. Maintaining alignment amid life's changes. Even in union, life remains dynamic. Seasons of personal transformation continue. External circumstances may shift. Challenges may arise that test energy, patience, and trust. Continuous surrender ensures that alignment is maintained. Return to breath, presence, and awareness in moments of stress. Communicate openly and lovingly, maintaining emotional sovereignty. Observe without attachment, allowing circumstances to unfold naturally. Surrender at this stage is not a passive reaction, but a conscious, ongoing practice that keeps the connection harmonious. 10. The infinite nature of the journey. Finally, recognize that the twin flame journey is infinite. Union is not a final destination, but a continuous co-creation. The path evolves from separation to surrender to integration to union and beyond into spiritual mastery. Each stage refines the capacity to love, release, and trust. Union is the celebration of surrender itself, the embodiment of the lessons learned, the growth achieved, and the vibrational harmony cultivated over the journey. It is living proof that when you release control, honor presence, and trust divine timing, life naturally aligns in ways far greater than the mind could orchestrate. Union, in the context of surrender, is not simply a meeting of two hearts. It is a convergence of energy, vibration, and consciousness, a living reflection of divine alignment. When fully integrated, love is expansive and unconditional. Presence is effortless and radiant. Life flows with grace, synchronicity, and purpose. The journey does not end at reunion. It evolves, expands, and ripples outward, touching all aspects of life, consciousness, and creation. The lesson is clear. The power of surrender is the key to union, and union is the mirror of mastery. In surrender, you are whole. In union, you are amplified. And in this sacred alignment, the dance of twin flames becomes a reflection of the infinite, flowing harmony of the universe itself. After the profound experiences of surrender, integration, and union, the journey does not end. In fact, the true mastery lies in living surrender beyond the twin flame dynamic, embodying it in every moment, every interaction, and every decision. This chapter explores the art of permanent alignment, how to make surrender your default state, radiate presence and love into the world, and live a life that transcends attachment, expectation, and limitation. 1. The essence of living surrender daily. Living surrender is not a single act, nor a practice reserved for special moments. It is a continuous, conscious choice, an energetic way of being that permeates all aspects of life. Key principles include acceptance without resignation. You accept circumstances as they are, without giving up or abandoning growth. Action without attachment. You act intentionally, contributing love and effort without obsessing over outcomes. Presence over projection. You live fully in the present, rather than projecting fears or desires into the future. Surrender becomes a living vibration, visible in your energy, heard in your words, and felt in your interactions. 2. The freedom of emotional sovereignty. One of the greatest gifts of living surrender is emotional freedom. Emotions are experienced fully, then released, without attachment or self-judgment. You no longer rely on external validation for happiness or peace. Emotional resilience becomes a natural trait, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace. For example, a difficult conversation or an unexpected setback no longer triggers panic, obsession, or control. Instead, you observe, respond consciously, and maintain inner alignment, demonstrating mastery over your emotional landscape. This freedom allows love and compassion to flow naturally toward yourself, your twin flame, and the world. 3. Integrating surrender into career and purpose. Living surrender extends into your professional life and life purpose. Aligned action. You choose work and projects that resonate with your values, strengths, and passions. Trust and flow. You release the need to control outcomes, promotions, or results, allowing your contribution to unfold naturally. Presence in work. You focus fully on tasks at hand, bringing attention, care, and creativity, rather than being driven by fear or ambition alone. Surrender in your career does not mean passivity. It means working with intention and trust, maximizing flow and productivity without stress or burnout. 4. Mastering relationships beyond twin flames. Surrender transforms all relationships, not just romantic ones. Friendships. You honor boundaries, respect differences, and contribute without expectation. Family. You release old resentments, practice compassion, and choose peace over control. Community and society. You interact with awareness, presence, and non-attachment to recognition or approval. Living surrender in relationships allows you to love fully, freely, and authentically, without projecting need, fear, or judgment onto others. 5. Spiritual practices for continuous alignment. To sustain surrender as a way of life, daily spiritual practices are essential. Meditation. Focus on breath, energy, or divine presence. Even 10 to 15 minutes daily anchors consciousness in alignment. Visualization. Regularly imagine yourself radiating love, trust, and surrender in every context of life. Journaling. Reflect on experiences, emotions, and growth to reinforce clarity and conscious awareness. Rituals of release. Write down limiting beliefs or fears and release them through fire, water, or symbolic acts. These practices keep surrender living, evolving, and active, not merely a theoretical concept. 6. Embodying presence in everyday life. Presence is the practical manifestation of surrender. Mindful routine, eating, walking, or performing daily tasks with full attention. Conscious listening. In conversations, truly hear others without mental commentary or judgment. Body awareness. Maintain alignment through posture, movement, and breath. Presence anchors. Surrender in reality, bridging the gap between inner mastery and external expression. Even simple actions, smiling at a stranger, listening fully, or pausing before reacting, become expressions of your surrendered state. 7. Flowing with life's challenges. Surrender does not eliminate challenges. It transforms your relationship with them. Challenges become mirrors of growth, signaling areas where attachment, fear, or control may still exist. Obstacles are opportunities to practice trust, flexibility, and conscious response. Instead of resisting life, you flow with it using discernment and presence to navigate decisions. Consider a sudden job loss or personal conflict. In a surrendered state, you acknowledge emotions fully. You assess the situation objectively, identifying actionable steps without panic. You trust that resolution, guidance, or opportunity will emerge naturally. Through surrender, challenges become catalysts for evolution, not sources of suffering. 8. Radiating energy beyond yourself. Living surrender naturally radiates outward. Your presence influences others energetically, inspiring calm, trust, and love. Opportunities, relationships, and synchronicities align more easily because your energy resonates with flow. You contribute to collective consciousness simply by embodying alignment, demonstrating the ripple effect of surrender. This is the ultimate stage of mastery. Your surrender creates harmony in the world, beyond personal desire or agenda. 9. The infinite path of growth. Even after union, mastery, and living surrender, daily the path continues infinitely. Life presents new challenges, growth opportunities, and evolutions of consciousness. Surrender deepens, expands, and becomes more subtle, embedded in every thought, action, and intention. You continually refine the balance between presence, action, love, and detachment. The twin flame journey is part of this infinite path, but living surrender transcends it, becoming a lifelong way of being that nurtures peace, creativity, love, and spiritual evolution. 10. Closing reflection. Surrender as the ultimate way of life. Living beyond twin flame. Union is not about reaching an endpoint. It is about embodying surrender as a state of continuous presence and alignment. Through surrender, love flows effortlessly without attachment. Challenges are opportunities for growth, not sources of fear. Every action becomes aligned, conscious, and empowered. Life unfolds naturally, reflecting the inner harmony of your energy. Surrender is no longer a practice. It is your natural state, your vibration, your way of interacting with reality. By mastering this, you transform every aspect of existence: relationships, work, personal growth, and spiritual evolution. The journey beyond twin flame union is the journey into yourself, into presence, and into the infinite dance of life. It is here, in this state of embodied surrender, that the deepest magic occurs. You are free. You are aligned. You are love in motion. After the profound experiences of surrender, integration, and union, a new horizon emerges, the legacy of surrender. At this stage, surrender is no longer only for your personal growth or your twin flame connection. It becomes a living force that influences the world, radiates love, and inspires alignment in others. This chapter explores how to embody surrender as a continuous state, extend it beyond your personal life, and create an energetic legacy that touches people, communities, and the collective consciousness. 1. Understanding legacy as energy. Legacy is often thought of in terms of material achievements, titles, or social recognition. True legacy, however, is energy left behind, the vibration, presence, and influence that continues beyond your physical actions. Every interaction, word, and choice leaves an imprint. The energy you cultivate through Surrender becomes a template of alignment and love for others to resonate with. Your presence alone can guide, calm, and inspire, creating ripples of transformation. Consider it like a river. Water flows, nourishes, and shapes the land it touches. Even after the water passes, the riverbed remains, an imprint of its passage. Your surrendered energy leaves a similar mark. 2. Radiating presence in every sphere of life. Mastery of surrender extends beyond inner peace. It manifests outwardly in all areas of life. Family and friends, you embody trust, love, and emotional stability, helping loved ones navigate their own challenges. Work and career. Your alignment inspires colleagues, encourages collaboration, and elevates collective productivity. Community. Your energy promotes harmony, understanding, and positive influence, often without overt effort. Presence is not something you broadcast or announce. It is felt naturally by those around you, simply by being aligned, conscious, and surrendered. 3. Becoming a mirror of possibility. A surrendered person becomes a mirror for others. Others see calm where they once saw stress. Others feel love where they once felt fear. Others are inspired to release control and align with their own higher selves. The twin flame journey is a microcosm of this principle. Your mastery of surrender in that relationship becomes an energetic blueprint, showing others the power of trust, flow, and unconditional love. Through your example, others may unconsciously learn to let go of attachment in their own relationships, trust the timing and process of life, cultivate presence, patience, and alignment in their daily choices. You may never speak a word about your inner work, yet your energy communicates more powerfully than any message. 4. Sharing wisdom without attachment. As you radiate surrendered energy, there may be opportunities to share your insights. Intentionally, teach, mentor, or guide others in alignment practices. Create art, writing, or content that reflects your inner wisdom. Led by example in moments of challenge, showing patience, grace, and conscious action. The key is sharing without attachment. You give wisdom not to control, impress, or manipulate, but as an offering, a reflection of the abundance that arises from surrender. Attachment to recognition or results would negate the purity of this energy. True legacy flows freely, without demand or expectation. 5. Inspiring collective healing. Mastery of surrender opens the door to collective healing and energetic influence. Your stability and presence can calm tense situations, inspire reconciliation, or promote understanding in groups. Your clarity and alignment may subtly influence organizational culture, social movements, or community well-being. By embodying trust, flow, and unconditional love, you become a channel through which collective energy harmonizes. Every act of surrender, patience, or conscious love contributes to a larger energetic ecosystem. Even private moments of alignment have ripple effects that extend far beyond your awareness. 6. Embodying flow in action. Legacy is not only energetic, it is expressed through action that aligns with your inner state. Decision-making. Make choices rooted in clarity, love, and purpose rather than fear or obligation. Contribution. Offer your skills, creativity, and energy in ways that serve others naturally. Adaptation. Flow with changes and challenges gracefully, modeling resilience and conscious presence. Action without surrender is mechanical. Action with surrender becomes magnetic, transformative, and enduring. 7. Teaching through example. The most profound teaching is living the principles you embody. Demonstrating surrender in daily life is far more impactful than verbal instruction alone. Others observe, absorb, and integrate lessons simply by being around your energy. Leadership, guidance, and mentorship rooted in surrender cultivate lasting transformation in those you touch. This is why your twin flame journey, once fully mastered, is not just a personal story. It is a living example of conscious love and alignment that others can mirror and follow. 8. Creating sustainable influence. Legacy grows when surrender becomes habitual, consistent, and embodied. Regular practices of presence, reflection, and energy alignment reinforce your state. Mindful action and decision-making ensure your energy radiates consistently. Emotional sovereignty prevents reactivity from disrupting your vibrational imprint. The more consistently you live in surrender, the more your influence becomes stable, subtle, and far-reaching. Like a tree that continually nourishes the soil around it, your surrendered life creates fertile ground for growth in others, leaving a legacy that persists across time and space. 9. Aligning life with purpose. The ultimate expression of surrendered legacy is purpose-driven living. Your actions, presence, and energy become aligned with your deepest calling. Life no longer feels fragmented. Each choice resonates with your highest self. Through alignment, you inspire others not by instruction but by example, showing what is possible when surrender becomes a way of life. Purpose is not a distant goal. It emerges organically when your inner alignment radiates outward, guiding your steps and choices naturally. 10. Closing reflection. Surrender as a way of life and a legacy. Mastery of surrender culminates in living a life of influence without effort, teaching without words, and impacting without attachment. Your energy becomes a mirror of peace and presence for those around you, a template of love and trust for relationships and communities, a source of inspiration and alignment for collective consciousness. This is the ultimate legacy, not fame, wealth, or recognition, but the energetic imprint of a surrendered, aligned, and fully present life. Through surrender, you embody freedom, flow, and unconditional love, leaving a mark that transcends your personal story, extending into the lives and consciousness of others, long after individual interactions have passed. In essence, your surrender becomes your signature. Your presence becomes your teaching. Your life becomes a living example of what is possible when alignment, love, and trust are embodied fully. The twin flame journey, once deeply mastered, is no longer about seeking, needing, or chasing. It evolves into a continuous offering of conscious presence, aligned action, and loving energy, a legacy that reflects the infinite dance of the universe itself. The journey from surrender to integration to union and beyond is a testament to the transformative power of trust, presence, and alignment. It demonstrates that true mastery is not about outcomes, but the energy you cultivate, embody, and radiate into the world. Living surrender becomes not just a practice, but a way of life, a legacy that leaves the world richer, calmer, and more aligned with the rhythm of the universe.